God says, "You've been given a lot of money. Open this message now before this opportunity slips away. Don't miss what's coming to you." My beloved child, I am opening before you a new season of provision, so that the years of scarcity will no longer define the future I have prepared for you. Quiet your heart, not because you are afraid of losing something, but because you need enough stillness to recognize how I am leading you out of old cycles. I know how often you have looked at the bills that needed to be paid, the needs that remained unmet, and the doors that seemed permanently closed. I know what it felt like to count every coin, postpone necessary things, and smile before others while anxiety filled you within. But the hardship you have endured is not a sentence over your entire life. I am teaching you to move from fear into trust, from chaos into order, and from a life focused only on survival into one that knows how to build, preserve, and share. The abundance I desire to give you is not found only in a large number or an unexpected sum of money. It begins when your mind is no longer controlled by scarcity, when you can sleep without tomorrow choking your peace, when you have enough discernment to distinguish needs from desires, and enough stability not to be ruled by money. I do not want you to receive something great while your heart remains full of fear, because if your inner wounds have not healed, you could lose in a moment what took years to obtain. Therefore, before expanding your resources, I am expanding your understanding. I am teaching you patience, planning, the courage to refuse impulsive decisions, and gratitude for every small thing already in your hands. This is not delay. It is the way I prepare you so that blessing will not merely visit, but will be able to remain. I have seen the nights when you prayed in silence, and no one knew how many burdens you carried. I saw you trying to protect your family, even when you also needed support. I saw you set aside many of your own desires to care for those you love, and I know there were times when you wondered whether such sacrifices would ever be recognized. You have not been forgotten. Every good thing you have done with sincerity is forming a foundation that human eyes cannot yet see yet. I do not want you to continue giving until you are empty, and then call it generosity. Wisdom is also part of love. Learn to help without exhausting yourself, to share without destroying stability, and to love while preserving healthy boundaries. I want your abundance to become a river, not a flood that washes away the order in your life. The doors I open may come in forms different from what you once imagined. It may be a new work opportunity, an idea you previously dismissed, a skill that needs to be developed, or a right connection appearing at the proper time. I may lead you back to something you abandoned after failure, but this time you will return with maturity and experience. Do not search only for extraordinary things outside yourself while overlooking the abilities I have already placed within you. Some resources are hidden within your diligence, discipline, creativity, and courage. I may give the opportunity, but you must move toward it. I may place the seed in your hand, but you must sow it, nurture it, and patiently wait for the result. Miracles do not make you passive. Miracles awaken you to cooperate with what is good. Be cautious of promises of instant wealth, paths that require you to exchange honesty for gain, and opportunities that merely provoke greed. Not every open door comes from me, and not everything that excites you immediately will bring lasting peace. Consider the fruit a choice will produce within you. If it requires you to lie, conceal, exploit others, or live in constant uneasiness, you must have the courage to walk away. My provision does not require you to betray good values in order to possess it. What I give may demand effort, But it does not require you to lose your dignity. It may draw you outside what is familiar, but it will not lead you into darkness. I want you to prosper with clean hands, a clear mind and a heart that wealth cannot corrupt with pride. You lost time through wrong decisions, misplaced trust, and allowing fear to hold you back for too long. You lost peace by trying to control what was beyond your ability. I do not ask you to deny the consequences, but neither do I want you to remain trapped in self-condemnation. The past may become your teacher, but it must never become your master. Look honestly at what needs to be repaired, a debt that needs a clear plan, a spending habit that must change, a skill that needs to be acquired, or work that must be approached more seriously. I will give you strength to begin again, but restoration is often built through small choices, repeated faithfully. One disciplined day may not change everything, but many faithful days will create a different future. I am also restoring things that money cannot buy. I want to return peace to you when you enter your home, joy when you share a meal with those you love, and the ability to rest without guilt. Some people possess much and still live in fear of losing it. That is not the wealth I desire for you. I want you to have enough without becoming obsessed, to succeed without losing tenderness, and to advance while remembering those who stood beside you in difficult days. When finances occupy their proper place, they become a tool to build, heal, and expand what is good. But when money sits upon the throne of your heart, it will turn you into someone who remains anxious and never feels that enough is enough. Therefore, receive this new season with humility. When you have more, do not rush to prove anything to anyone. Protect what I give through discretion, understanding, and mature decisions. Not everyone needs to know your plans, resources, or progress. Some seeds grow best in silence before becoming strong enough to appear in the light. Choose trustworthy advisors, seek sound knowledge, and do not be afraid to ask when you do not understand. I do not want you managing money through unstable emotions. Let discernment lead you. Save before displaying, invest before spending carelessly, and establish foundations before expanding. Wisdom will preserve what temporary excitement can easily scatter. If you want to speak your agreement with me, let it be more than words upon your lips. Let it appear in the way you work, keep promises, and use what you already possess. A sincere amen is not a key that forces blessing to appear. It is a declaration that you are willing to be taught, corrected, and led. When you say that you believe, begin by completing the smallest task before you. Rewrite your plan, examine your expenses, stop what is unnecessary, and devote time to developing your abilities. I do not despise those humble steps. They are forming a vessel strong enough to contain something greater. My beloved child, I have not arrived too late in your story. You may have believed your best years were behind you, but I can still bring forth a harvest from land that once appeared barren. I am transforming painful experience into wisdom, losses into caution, and waiting into endurance. What I build within you will serve not only the present, but will establish stability for those who come after you. Your legacy will not be written through boasting, but through a family that was supported, debts that were resolved, opportunities that were created, and people who were helped through kindness. You are not only called to receive, you are being prepared to become a trustworthy steward of what is good. Walk through today without panic and without dreams that have no foundation. I am with you in every wise decision, every temptation you refuse, and every morning. When you rise and continue trying, your entire life may not change before sunset, but your direction can change today. When the direction changes, the future also begins to change. I am leading you toward abundance that will not draw you away from me, success that will not cause you to lose yourself, and prosperity that can become a shelter. For many keep your heart peaceful, your hands diligent, and your steps faithful. What belongs to you does not need to be protected through fear. It needs to be received through maturity. I am still leading you, and every step of obedience today is widening the road for tomorrow. You are standing before a great transformation, and the distance between you and that moment is not rejection, but the final portion of a process I have been quietly completing. Many times you sensed that something good was drawing near, yet whenever you thought you could touch it, everything slowed down. The signs became unclear, and the paths appeared to close. That was when you began to doubt yourself, doubt the promises that once upheld you, and even doubt my presence. But my beloved, not one day of your journey has been overlooked. While you saw only delay, I was completing what could not yet be placed into your hands too soon. I am not only preparing a good result, I am shaping you into someone steady enough to receive it without losing peace, discerning enough to preserve it without losing direction, and humble enough to turn what you receive into a blessing for others. There were seasons when you believed you were being held back, but in truth, I was protecting you from entering a larger space with a heart still carrying too many wounds. If what you desired had arrived while you still longed to prove your worth before others, you might have used it to seek recognition. If it had arrived while you still feared abandonment, you might have handed control of your life to people who did not value you. If it had arrived before you learned the difference between kindness and unhealthy people-pleasing, you might have allowed precious things to be consumed by relationships that knew how to receive but not how to preserve. Therefore, I did not hurry. I allowed you to learn calmness in scarcity, wisdom among many voices, and faithfulness in tasks that appeared insignificant. Every lesson is becoming a strong arm that will enable you to carry something greater without being crushed beneath it. I am also removing limitations that have existed within you for a long time, beliefs that caused you to think your life could rise only to a certain level and no farther. Some fears were passed down through words, through the way previous generations looked at the future, and through failures repeated so often that the entire family began to regard them as destiny. You heard too many times that you should be satisfied with less, that greater hope would bring greater disappointment, and that good doors were only meant for others. Those words quietly built boundaries around your mind, but I have not called you to live forever within a pattern created by fear. I am helping you understand that the past may explain part of your journey, but it has no authority to command your future. What was repeated in your family does not have to continue through your life. I am giving you awareness to choose differently, courage to build something healthier, and perseverance not to return to the worn paths that once exhausted you. My messengers are carrying out the portion of the work that human strength cannot touch. Some walls do not fall through effort, some rejection does not change through persuasion, and some obstacles remain even after you have done everything within your ability. I know you once poured much energy into places that would not open, then blamed yourself for not being talented, fast, or fortunate enough. But there are moments when you need to stop pushing against one door and allow me to lead you toward another way. I can redirect a decision, connect you with the right person, remove you from a restrictive environment, or place before you an opportunity your mind has never imagined. Your responsibility is not to control every outcome. Your responsibility is to preserve an upright heart, prepare seriously, listen carefully, and move. When peace confirms the path, what I am restoring to you reaches far beyond money or position. I am returning the dignity wounded during the days when circumstances forced you to bow your head. I am reviving the joy that heavy responsibilities once concealed. I am healing the shame you felt when you could not meet the expectations of others. There were times when you looked at yourself and saw only what had not been accomplished, while I saw the perseverance of someone who repeatedly rose after being struck down. You lived through days when simply continuing to move was already a victory. You preserved kindness even when you were used, continued caring even when you needed support, and tried to do what was right when no one was watching. Those things were never small before me. I do not define you by the months of scarcity, nor judge you through the contempt of others. Your value does not increase when you are praised, and it does not decrease when you are rejected. I saw how betrayal changed the way you viewed people. I know the nights when you remained awake, trying to understand how someone you trusted could cause you so much pain. You questioned where you had gone wrong, whether you gave too much, or whether you had been too naive. I do not deny that wound, nor ask you to pretend it no longer affects you, but I do not want you to carry bitterness into the new season. I want you to preserve the lesson while releasing the poison. Keep discernment, but do not let suspicion become a lock upon every door. Establish boundaries, but do not turn them into walls that keep sincere love away. Remember what happened, but do not allow it to write the rest of your story. Those who wounded you do not have the authority to decide who you will become. You once believed I had abandoned you in the moments when no one remained. Yet even when you heard only silence, I was protecting you from things you could not recognize. Sometimes I allowed someone to leave because their presence would weaken what I was building within you. Sometimes I stopped a plan because you saw only the immediate benefit, while I saw the long-term cost. Sometimes I kept you in a season of solitude so that you would stop depending upon the approval of others and learn to stand from within. You thought you had been left behind, but in truth, you were being separated from things that could not accompany you into the new chapter. The absence of certain people is not always loss. Sometimes it is the necessary space through which peace, order, and healthier relationships are able to enter. My timing is not controlled by impatience, nor delayed by human opposition. I do not hurry merely because you are restless, but neither do I forget what I have placed within you. Everything I do is measured according to the greater purpose of your life. When a door that truly belongs to you opens, you will not have to compromise your integrity to enter it. It will not force you to betray your principles, lower your worth, or live in constant fear of being cast out. My confirmation brings peace, even when the responsibility is great. It helps you mature, rather than throwing you into confusion, enlarges you rather than forcing you to pretend to be someone else. What belongs to you may demand courage, but it will never require you to lose yourself. You do not need to fear that those who once doubted you will have the final word. I do not lift you so that you may retaliate against them, but to demonstrate that an upright life is never lived in vain. When the season of restoration comes, the change within you will speak more powerfully than every defense. Peace upon your face will answer mockery Maturity in your choices will silence former judgments. You do not need to return to every place that wounded you to prove that you have succeeded. Let your renewed life speak for itself. True elevation is not measured only by what you possess, but by the fact that you are no longer controlled by what once frightened you, by your ability to preserve a clean heart when you have many choices, and by your willingness to bend down and lift others even after you have risen higher. Therefore, prepare with wisdom rather than panic. Manage what you possess well before expecting something greater. Keep hidden the seeds whose time to sprout has not yet come, because not everyone needs to know every plan I am placing in your heart. Be cautious with those who appear only when they see benefit. Learn to give without allowing yourself to be manipulated, to love without surrendering boundaries, and to forgive without returning to what repeatedly destroyed your peace. I am giving you not only an open season, but also a mind, alert enough to walk through it. What comes will require gratitude, discipline, and humility in order to be preserved for a long time. My beloved child, lift your head. What you endured was not the end, nor was it proof that you had been rejected. It was the place where strength was formed, understanding was deepened, and your heart was purified from desires that were leading you in the wrong direction. Now what I have prepared and the person I have trained are drawing near to one another. You will discover that not one tear was disregarded, not one season of waiting was entirely empty, and not one wound was greater than my ability to restore. Move forward without carrying the need to prove yourself to anyone. I have seen you, preserved you, and I am still leading you. When the new door opens, you will understand that it bears not only the name of opportunity, but also the name of healing, dignity, order, and a beginning that no power can take from your hands. I did not create you to remain imprisoned by suffering, and now I am leading every part of your life out of the cycles that have exhausted you for too long. I saw the nights when your body lay still, but your mind could not rest, and the days when you had to appear strong, while hope within you was almost empty. I know the financial shortages that frightened you, the weariness you carried in silence, and the relationships that left wounds you could hardly name. Not one tear has been disregarded, and not one prayer has disappeared into emptiness. I was there when you believed you were fighting alone, and I remain here as you begin entering a new season. What you see now is not the entire story, because behind the curtains of delay, I am quietly restoring order, closing dangerous paths, and opening roads that align with the purpose I have for you. I am touching more areas than your eyes can see. I am teaching you to manage money with awareness instead of being controlled by fear. I am returning you to a rhythm of life that honors health, rest, and your own limitations. I am bringing clarity to your relationships so that you can recognize who comes with sincere love and who appears only when there is something to receive. I am also touching the patterns that have passed through your family for generations. Anxiety over scarcity, reactions rooted in anger, silence in the face of pain, and the belief that life can do nothing but repeat former failures. You are not required to continue what those before you were unable to overcome. I am beginning a different way of living within you, so that future generations may inherit wisdom, peace, and healthy choices, instead of burdens that were never healed. You were placed in this world to carry light, not to live with your head bowed beneath darkness. That light is not display or pride. It is the ability to remain kind when treated unjustly, to remain honest when deception appears easier, and to continue believing in goodness when circumstances repeatedly sow doubt. Because there is a seed within you, capable of producing good influence, the years behind you sometimes became more intense than you expected. Fear tried to make you shrink. Disappointment tried to persuade you that all effort was meaningless. Negative words attempted to make you forget your value. But none of these things could erase what I placed. Within you, you may have grown weary, but the light within you never went out. I merely shielded it through the season of strong winds, so that it could shine at the appointed time. Do not look back upon former battles and call them nothing but loss. I can use those very years to teach you what no book could ever convey. Betrayal taught you to value sincerity. Scarcity taught you the worth of wisdom and discipline. Delays taught you not to entrust your future hastily to every beautiful promise. Trials made you deeper, more careful, and more compassionate toward others. The adversary wanted pressure to break you, but I am turning it into endurance. It wanted wounds to make you bitter, but I am transforming them into places where compassion is born. It wanted delay to destroy your faith, but I am using the waiting to prepare you with the maturity necessary to preserve what you could not have carried before. When I begin opening the way, you do not need to panic, chase every sign, or attempt to predict exactly where resources will come from. Your responsibility is not to control everything that has not yet happened. Your responsibility is to work diligently with what is before you, refine your abilities, keep your word trustworthy, and use what is in your hands responsibly. Some opportunities will appear through people you have never met. Skills you once considered insignificant will become keys that open a new direction, an idea you put away because you feared. Failure may awaken at the right time. A record or application, once overlooked, may be seen through different eyes. One old door closing does not mean you have lost your future. Sometimes it is merely my way of preventing you from returning to a place that exhausted you. I am not limited by the paths you know. I can create a way through an encounter, new learning, a wise decision, or an initial change that makes you uncomfortable, but later becomes the beginning of something good. Understand that what I desire to give you is not merely more money. I want you to possess stability so that you no longer live in panic whenever a difficulty appears. I want you to have peace deep enough that every change cannot carry you away. I want you to learn how to build a home where loved ones are heard, respected, and safe. I want abundance in your life to carry gratitude rather than arrogance, generosity rather than greed. When I entrust more resources to you, I also want to enlarge your vision so that you know how to use them for things of value. A family is not renewed only through a large amount of money, but also through the way you manage, speak, forgive, and teach the next generation to live uprightly. True blessing does not merely change the number in your hands. It changes the atmosphere of your home and the direction of an entire family line. Therefore, protect the peace being planted within your heart. Do not allow one hurried voice of doubt to destroy what I am building. Do not pursue voices that pressure you to act against wisdom merely because they promise quick results. Not every open door is a place you should enter, and not everything that shines carries goodness. I will not lead you towards stability through a path that requires you to lose your dignity, honesty, or family. Examine every opportunity calmly. Ask whether it brings clarity or creates greater confusion, whether it respects your value or requires you to sell yourself cheaply. What truly belongs in your life will not demand that you betray the good principles I have taught you. I am also caring for the deep places within you that others I do not recognize. You may receive a new opportunity and still fear that everything will be taken away. You may see improvement while inwardly preparing for something terrible to happen. These are marks left by years of living in insecurity, and I do not condemn you for them. I am teaching you to receive goodness without trembling, to rest without guilt, and to rejoice without immediately believing the joy will soon end. I am quieting the old voices that said you were unworthy, that you would always be left behind, or that every good thing was meant for someone else. You are my child, and my love for you is not based upon how perfectly you have lived. I do not love you less on your weekdays, and I do not abandon you when you do not know how to continue. You asked me for a sign that difficult months would not last forever, so look at the change already taking place within you. You no longer believe every promise as easily as before. You have learned to establish boundaries where they are needed. You have begun to understand that peace is more precious than receiving everyone's approval. You survived what once made you believe you could never endure. These are not insignificant changes. They are evidence that you have been prepared to enter a new stage with a more mature heart. A sign is not always a great event occurring outside you. Sometimes the sign is that you can stand before an old circumstance without responding through the same old fear, or hear a negative word without allowing it to determine your worth. Trust that what I am preparing for you will come without forcing you to compete in desperation. You are responsible for moving forward, but you do not need to step upon others. In order to advance, you need to work, but you do not need to destroy yourself to prove your value. You need to be ready, but you do not need to live in tension because you fear missing out. I will guide you through discernment, honest opportunities, and appropriate steps. When a place is not meant for you, I will give you enough peace to leave. When a door belongs to you, I will give you courage to enter. No word of opposition can take from you what is built upon integrity, but you must also remain patient so that everything can become firmly established, rather than appearing quickly and disappearing. Just as fast, my beloved child, your life did not end with what happened before. Yesterday's success has no authority to write the laws of tomorrow. The wounds within your family do not have to be passed on. Former failures cannot declare that you will forever remain incapable. I am moving you out of a survival mindset and into a life that knows how to build, preserve, and pass on what is good. You will learn to create stability you have never known before. You will know how to remain calm through change, seek help when necessary, and receive goodness without sabotaging it through fear. What I am doing is not only intended to change your circumstances temporarily. I am renewing the foundation so that your life can remain strong for a long time. Therefore, lift your head and continue in peace. I do not promise that you will never face another trial, but I assure you that you will not face it as the person you once were. You are stronger, wiser, and more aware of whom you belong to. I am walking with you through every decision, every working day, and every moment when you must choose between fear and trust. The right doors will open at the proper time. The people you need to meet will be brought to you. The necessary resources will be revealed through wise and honest means. What I planted within you will not remain buried forever. Remain humble when you are lifted. Keep your hands open when you have more. And remember that you are blessed so that you may become a blessing. I am your Father. I do not abandon the work of my hands, and I will lead you from years of insecurity into a life filled with peace, purpose, and enduring hope.